Soundstripe.
Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone.
Soundstripe.
Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Hey. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and by my nose.
Welcome back to the XandO Sports Show. I'm your host, Ricky G. Stanley, and I hope everybody's doing well. As you can see, I'm repping where I coach high school football at, which is Wilson Preparatory Academy. We actually started our season off 2-1. We had one blowout victory. We had a pretty tight one. Well, I can say tight. It was 21-0 last night, but the defense stung strong. And our first game, the elements got to us a little bit, but it was a good thing. We actually got to meet adversity. So we actually had our first loss in our first game. But we're 2-1 on the season, but enough of that. Let's get on to some college football. Today was an explosive start to college football weekend. Of course, everybody knows it's going to be Labor Day. The first game that I watched today is Colorado versus TCU. And it's one of the bigger games. That's why I wanted to cover that one myself. And it did not disappoint. So as you know, prime time. This is his first game coming out. He wanted to know that he bring his Louis and he got his luggage and he got somebody who could bring it for him. One of the biggest things that I saw that TCU is trying to get back what they lost last year. They played in a big bowl game and they didn't play so well. So why not put on a good performance against a young and up-and-coming team? But they fell short today. So let's talk about that a little bit. Like I said, one of the biggest X factors of the game to me, in my opinion, was Travis Hunter. That guy was phenomenal. I watched him play over the previous years, and I was like, you know what? Can he play both sides of the ball in the Pac-12? He did today. He played over 110 snaps, both offense and defense. And he did extremely well. Only negative I had was the fact that he dropped that 50-yard bomb, but sometimes it happens. He wasn't the only one to drop the pass today, but give him a pass because he actually hit over 110 snaps. I think it was like 60 on defense and 40 on offense. So Travis Hunter had 11 catches for 119 yards today. And I do remember him having and I had it on mute because I was watching something else in the background. He actually, he hit a touchdown, but I think they called it back. He might have had possession. He might have been juggling when he got his back foot in. So they called it back. But however, he did have one interception on the day, which was great because he broke on it. I actually thought the guy was going to walk in. He broke on it and picked it off. The second X factor of this game was no other than Shedeur Sanders. I watched him play over the years, and I was like, you know what? He's pretty accurate. If he gets a little stronger, I think it'd be all right. Now, I didn't know he was going to come into existence this fast, especially with Colorado. It's a new team. They got a whole lot of moving pieces. But he brought all the Louis today. He went 38 of 47, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And the fact that him and Hunter had a big workload today, I think Deion said he's going to put a hot tub on the jet to make sure they get their recovery done. But I did love this game because the fact that Deion let everybody know in the NCAA, I'm coming. And I'm bringing my luggage. You have to deal with it. And I loved it because the fact that he hit better Hawaii today because I saw 6 commercials with his face on it. But the thing is, when you can talk that talk and you back it up, there's nothing they can say. They play, I want to say, a Big Ten opponent next week. If I'm not mistaken. I think it's Nebraska. And Nebraska is a team that's trying to claw for some wins as well. So good luck to them. I got my money on Deion. Shedeur, if you played like this a couple more times, we're going to have to, all put in, and pretty sure you don't need the money, but we'll put in to see, can we get you a ticket to New York? 510 yards, it's a pretty decent team, and he's going to have a couple more chances to do it. He got USC, he has Oregon, he may have Oklahoma State. If I'm not mistaken, from my memory, all those guys are actually ranked. So if you go through your conference, make it through your non-conference, and get some big wins against USC, possibly Notre Dame, just doing off of memory, I think that Colorado will be in good standing to be in a big bowl game this year. Now, I'm not going to go out there and jump on a limb so they can go take down Alabama or take down a big time LSU program yet. But they coming. And as you can see from this highlight and this recap, there's a whole lot of scoring. And I love the fact that they showed up, they battled, and I want to say one of the remaining players on the defense from Colorado the year before, he actually makes an interception in the first drive. I did like that. And I was like, you know what? He actually, stood to rise because a lot of players, they bailed out of there. They had a problem with Dion, sending guys packing. If you ain't cut from the cloth that he wants you to be, he's going to send you packing. And in this day and age, everybody thinks that's too harsh, but that's really the reality of it. This is a dog-eat-dog world. And if you can't cut it, then maybe a different place is for you. But on to some other games. We had some top 25 games already going on. Ole Miss smokes Mercer 66-7. Oregon beats the brick off Portland State 50-7. Ohio State is actually in a battle right now. They're up 7-3 against Indiana. Boise State, they are down 9-14 against Washington. Rice is playing Texas 13-3. I actually think that game should be more of a blowout, but that's just my opinion. Texas, you better tighten up. Let's see. Tennessee State is getting killed right now by Notre Dame 28-3. Wisconsin is 7-7 with Buffalo right now. And later on tonight, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be on TV. Georgia's playing against UT Martin. USC playing against Nevada. And Alabama's playing Middle Tennessee. Penn State playing West Virginia. North Carolina versus South Carolina. I think that's going to be a pretty good game right there. North Carolina versus South Carolina. I think that all the records are going out the way. You got two rivalries. The kid from South Carolina, he transferred from Oklahoma over a year ago. I think it's Raleigh. Something like that. But I feel like he got something to prove this year. And North Carolina, I didn't like their quarterback last year, but he kept battling, he kept playing, and I think he's a gamer. I don't think he's a slouch. I think he's got something to prove as well. But we got a whole lot of games. One other game that I did watch was Tennessee. I wanted to see how Milton was going to play as the full-time starter this year, and he played pretty well. And I am looking forward to him to being a Heisman hopeful as well. He had 201 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns. I think it's going to be pretty good. And let's see. Oklahoma smoked Arkansas State 73-0. Way to take care of business. Iowa was playing against Utah State 24-14. USC took care of San Jose, which they should have, 56-28. Kind of shocked that they gave up 28 to them, but I guess they put the backups in the third string. Notre Dame beat Navy 42-3 with that triple option. Good gracious. Utah, I watched that game the other night versus Florida. I actually like what I saw with Utah. They had 2 backup quarterbacks in, and they did their business. And I think his name is Nate Johnson. He runs a 10-5 and the 100, and he showed every bit of it on one of those quarterback rap plays. But I think they're going to have a strong program this year. I think they can finish with a top 10 finish, but I don't know if they're going to be able to take out the Alabamas of the world. But one game I am excited to see tomorrow is September the 3rd, and it's going to be LSU versus Florida State. The number 5 versus the number 18. I can't wait. I got my money on LSU. I just went there this past spring break. Love the facility. I actually got to see at the top of the actual stadium and how all that noise come in. I think it's going to be a very good game. Florida State, they're on the comeback. Hey, they're trying to get back to those days of, Ward Dunn, Peter Ward. I think I remember those guys off the top of my head. EJ Manuel, those guys are all right. But those guys, when they dominated, when Miami played them every year, on the Monday of the first game of this year. We used to play them every year, but I'm glad they took them off the schedule that early because we would always be top 10, and one of us would get knocked out of the top 10 that early with that game. So, but I'm going to keep watching this college football, keep covering it for you guys. Glad that the season is finally here and I can put out more content because I'm heavy on football. I cover basketball, but as we know, I love me some football. But
Sounds right.
And of course, this is my time. My name is Ricky G. Stanley, and I am out here.
Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Grind to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Grind to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Hey. Oh man, I got a lot of goals. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Hey. I grind to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles.